Hey there, Slotcar adventurers. This week we're going to do a whole bunch of crafty stuff, starting off with these awesome 3D printed jalopies sent to me by Slotcar Wildman. Now, you may recall Dave Volk putting together that Fury Road war rig for me. And look, there's a box full of leftovers with that, including some extra exhaust pipes and some of those things to glue on the wheels. You know how they pull up alongside and they shred the tyres of their enemy? So I'm gluing these on just to make these a little bit more weird and wacky. Don't know if it's going to work at this point. I'm just waiting for the glue to settle, which did take a bit actually. But as you can see, it's already looking a little bit more interesting. So what I'm going to do next is simply do a base coat. I'm going to spray these shiny silver, and hopefully, as you can see here, that'll reach into all those engine nooks and crannies that'll just be too difficult to get with a brush. Now, speaking of brushing on the paint, I've got the game colours here. There's gunmetal, there's corrosion, and there's rust. As you can see, I've begun the process by very carefully brushing on the gunmetal, followed by corrosion on the engine and on the grille. And then I'll be adding some of the rust here and there using a special brush. So once again, being the post-apocalyptic Mad Max world, they've got to look clapped out and rusted and, in a world like that, they don't exactly have rust inhibitor, do they? No. Everything's slowly decaying. And as you can see here, the painting went quite well. They do really look the part. But there's a few extras, and they've got these war boys. I guess you could best describe them as tribal torches. So these big poles they have attached, and as they go to war, they pull one out, light it, and throw it at their enemy. Some of them are fixed with flags attached, so I'm going to do a combination of both with these. And once again, I just flipped through the old Mad Max art book just to get a few ideas, and then I'm doing my own thing with them to make them unique on this layout. Now, I took an old tea towel and butchered it, as you can see here, cut out these. I like the red bits, and just cut them up, roughed them up, and super glued them onto the top. And then for the tribal torch parts, I've just got this twine that I'm simply super gluing. I tied them on about an inch from the top, put on a whole bunch of super glue, and then slowly started winding them. The good thing about this twine is it flattens out, as you can see. So when you trim it, it looks like it's ready to be lit, like a wick. The next thing to do is simply apply some colour, make them look like they've been dipped in kerosene or something. And once the glue dries, I'll trim them off and apply those paint effects. I think I used a rotting flesh colour. There you go. You see, they're a bit sickly looking, but to me it looks like they've been dipped in kerosene or something. Or just petrol or gasoline, as they call it in the movie. But as you can see, these things are really coming to life, and they're almost finished, actually. I've got these little metallic emblems off of eBay. There's a person nearby who makes these, sells them on eBay for $10 each, and very well done, so I'm applying those just to add the finishing touches. Let's have a look at what that looks like. I still can't believe how good that war rig turned out. Amazing. There you go. How's that? That is the Fury Road emblem. But that skull, I think it's their version of the skull and crossbones, isn't it? Something like that. But I'm pretty chuffed with the way these turned out. I think they really look the part. I think I'll do little few more touches with those tyres, dirtying them up, but I think for the most part they're pretty darn good. And don't those emblems look fantastic mounted on the tribal torches? Yeah. I am tempted to get a lighter and sort of set them on fire. Yeah, let's not do that. Yeah, we don't want to burn down the Slotcar room before it's even finished now, do we? But folks, what do you reckon? Now, here they are posing with Shotgun Dave's custom-built buzzard vehicle. It's the real Slotcar, while the others are just statues. So I think this Mad Max exhibit is really coming together. Just a few more additions, and I think it'll be all done. And now for something completely different. A package. Yeah, another package. Well, this is a special package. This is from my mate Digger. You saw Digger down there at the weekend at Pat's. Well, Digger likes to experiment with these 3D printed products. He finds the different projects, sets them up in his computer system and prints out all this magic. He's done some incredible stuff. Anyway, he contacted me and sent me some pictures and said, "Oh, what do you think of this thing?" And that's really good. So next thing I know, he's printing up a storm. And that's no pun, referring the cyclone we just endured. Anyway, as you can see, he's printed up a storm, and this thing here is for cleaning the track. You wrap a cleaning pad around it. I think you use a magnet to hold it in place, and you just push it around the track with a car. Pretty cool. First kit I'm going to look at, well, it's those little black things. What do you reckon they are? Little control desks, like a recording studio, right? Well, no, they're not for a recording studio. No, but they go together, as you can see, to create a nice big wraparound control desk, which is going in the control tower. The Carrera control tower. Yes, indeed. So eventually I'll paint the floor like a carpet effect, but here they are. They fit in perfectly. And there's Daisy Duke showing us how it all fits in. As you can see, looking good. I've got those 2 new LED lamps up the back there. And we probably need to add a few more bits and pieces before this is finished. But so far, looking good. Now, the next kit is something really cool. It is a hydraulic car lift, or rather a pair of matching hydraulic car lifts. Can't wait to put these together, very exciting. And the idea is to display them at the back of the pit garages. Yeah, that new area I did last week. So I'm going to assemble them, I'm going to paint them up, and I'll probably use them to display those 2 Pioneer cars that Wildman sent me over for Christmas. So here they are assembled, and I'm just trying them out for scale. They look pretty darn good. The Camaro is balancing nicely, they're quite strong, and here they are all painted. I painted the main shafts red and the rest gunmetal, a couple of silver bits, nothing to them really, very, very simple to do, but they look great. Moving right along, let's put together one of these cafe scenes. This is complete with the little cafe and a little outdoor area with tables and chairs or stools, like those plastic ones from the late 70s, early 80s. Remember those? There's also some railings to go around the whole structure and some stairs, very important, little stairwells to go down the sides. I'll show you where I'm going to put these in a moment. But it's a fairly comprehensive kit. Everything's in there. I've just got to decide what colours. What colours will we do? And I've got 2 of these to put together, by the way. 2 kits. So where do you think I'm putting these, eh? Look at all those pieces. There's windowsills, door frames. There's even furniture, some servery benches. Yeah, lots of goodies in there. Quite a good comprehensive kit. There's even a couple of little TV monitors to go up in the corners. That'll be fun. So I'm putting them on top of the pit garages, one at each end, and both will be themed. So here's the first one. pretty straightforward to get started, just gluing them together. A little bit of filing involved just to tidy them up. No instructions with these, but they're self-explanatory. And yes, I've got a cunning plan. Look at those colours, and if you know me, if you know my layout, you already know what this is, yes. We're going with the Red Bull colours. So this will be another Red Bull cafe. It'll be attached to the theme park end there. Also, Wildman has sent me over a 3D printed Red Bull logo, and I've decided to attach it to the roof. I think it looks pretty darn cool. As for the other one, Mad Max Cafe. Yes, of course, it's attached to the exhibit there. Done it all grungy, of course. Done a little bit of artwork on top there, if you call it that. And yeah, while I'm at it, I'm going to do a couple more display ramps for those new Mad Max vehicles I got. Going to grunge them up. And you know what? Today, I'm going to show you exactly my very, very simple process to get that post-apocalyptic world paint effect. So have a look at this. Here's exactly how I do it. After first giving it a light spray paint with the silver, the bright silver, I don't use a primer. I'm using the silver as a pseudo primer. The MDF does soak it up, but it gives you the right effect. Instead of it looking like a kid's toy, it looks a little bit more realistic. Once that's dry, I simply start off with something like the gunmetal colour, and I'm just dabbity-dabbing it on with my dabber. Yeah, my favourite implement of painting torture. Squishing it into the corners. I'm just using my noggin thinking, okay, if this has been out in the weather and it's copping the rain and God knows what, you know, wild boys taking a leak and a poop and who knows what they get up to. Yeah, where would all that congregate on this thing? It's sort of, gravity would help it along. Things would sort of dribble down the side. This is sounding off, isn't it? Anyway, you get the gist. Yeah, the gist. Look at that. It's really starting to take shape. You can see it's not just a nice shiny, toyish looking thing anymore. It's getting a bit more dimension, a little bit of light and shade here and there. And, you know, just use your instincts, use your gut feeling, use your artistry and make it look like it's, yeah, it's corroding. But we're not adding the corrosion colour as yet, remember, just the gunmetal here and there. It's a slightly different, darker kind of paint to the plain bright silver. And before it actually dries, let's start adding the corrosion effects. The idea, as all these paints dry together, they'll sort of slightly bleed into each other. By the time it is dry, it'll look a little bit more, you know, world beaten. With this, I've got a brush. I've cut off the bristles a little bit, so it's a different kind of dabbity-dab brush, as you can see. But I'm just being a bit more meticulous and a bit more selective here where I'm putting this. And again, this is the corrosion colour. I think these paints are fantastic, actually, these game colours. People, you know, it's like guitar strings. There's people out there arguing over which are the better guitar strings. You know, they're just guitar strings. They're all good. They're tools of the trade, you know. You use the appropriate tool for the job. But I've been finding, out of all the different paints I've tried, yeah, I think I'm really enjoying these game colours. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the company. It starts with a V. Something like that. But yeah, I'm just, once again, selectively adding a few sort of corrosion effects here and there. It's a little bit more rust-like. And again, it'll merge into the drying gunmetal paint, and I'll give it a little bit to dry so it's not completely dry, still mildly tacky, and then at that point I'll start going over it with the literal rust colour. I guess you could refer to them as the highlights if you like, and that's about it really. Yeah, just a 3-colour process. Well, 4 if you count the base coat. Again, I'm just sort of thinking, where would all the stuff be collecting? You know, definitely in those corners. Just, use your instincts, use your imagination, use your artistry. That's the word for the day, eh? Artistry. Now, this doesn't take long at all. In fact, I've set up the camera in real time, recorded the 3 colours. It's 3 videos I'm joining together here. And but it's in real time. We're nearly finished. We're up to the last colour. And it won't take very long at all before we can just put this aside and let it set. And it was after I finished this one, I thought, I've done one. I probably better do a second one because, I wasn't thinking you've got 2 new slot cars, 2 new Mad Max vehicles. You need 2 more display ramps. No, I don't really know what I was thinking at all, actually. But I was focusing on doing the one, and then no sooner had I finished it, I realised I need a second. So I had to quickly whip the other one together. Same paint approach, and I got there. But as you can see, it doesn't take very long at all. You don't have to stress and agonise over doing it. It's very simple, very straightforward. Just don't be too fussy with this stuff. You're really just slopping it everywhere. It's a sort of paint effect that I think anyone can do, and you really can't lose. You can't muck it up. It's gonna turn out one way or another. I guess the real proof of the pudding is once it's dry, placing said vehicles upon it and just admiring it, see if it works. And being paint, you can always paint over it again. Start from scratch, try again. Can't really get it wrong, folks. It's dead easy to do. And in the context of this Mad Max display exhibit on my layout, these things are, I think they're a must-have. They're just perfect. They're magnetic racing, in case I didn't mention that before. I did show the label. And I think they're the best designed slot car display ramps on the market. That's my opinion. Here's the proof right before you. There are others. I just love the design of these. I think they're perfect. And they can also function as rally start ramps. You can actually wire them up with braid, having that attached to the side of your track, and you can take off from these things. Very, very flexible kit design, and excellent work from the guys at Magnetic Racing. There you go. Doesn't that look good? And it's not quite dry, it's on its way, but it's already looking the part. So let's have a look at the final result. And it's looking good. The paint is dried, the colours have merged together, and indeed it's looking like a bit of corrosion, dust, grease, all that sort of thing. Looks like a vehicle's been on it, it's had a bit of an oil leak, all that sort of thing. Dusty and grimy in the corners, of course, where it would gather. And in my humble opinion, I think they've turned out just right. Now, as well as the vehicles, Slotcar Wildman also printed out these billboards for me. Very sort of old world, with a bit of paint and weathering, etc. Here's how they turned out. I've just got to print out some artwork and glue it on, but I think they turned out pretty cool. Even Max approves them. Look at that. And I need to paint that dog properly, don't I? Yeah. Okay, so with all the little bits and pieces in place, let's have a little look-see at our handiwork. So there's the Red Bull Cafe atop the end of the pit garage there. At the far end, we've got the Mad Max Cafe, looking look like something out of bloody Evil Dead. I think it's, yeah. Okay, so that needs to be weathered. It's a bit too bright. And that needs some life breathed into it, literally. And here's some of the other bits and pieces in place. As you can see, there's another billboard there with artwork added. It's really coming together. There's the new MFP Interceptor by Outlaw Resin. And there's another ramp there out front. I'm going to add some motorbikes and things here. In the background there, you can see the placement of our Bartertown billboard. And overall, it's really starting to take shape. One Mad Max exhibit with the lot. Well, how cool is that, Slotcar Adventurers? Lots of little fiddly extras this time. I've been doing all these different things over the last several weeks, actually, and this week I got to actually edit it all together into one episode, and turned out pretty good, I thought. Lots of fun stuff. Let's have another close look, hey? So we've got these 3D printed cafes from Digger. Thanks, Digger. Now on top, Wildman 3D printed this Red Bull logo. So yeah, I thought that would look good on there. Now I am going to weather this a bit. It's a little bit too pristine. I've got to get the little figures, but that'll be an integral part of the Red Bull Precinct theme park section going in here. There's another ride going in there, a thrill ride that'll be building shortly. That'll be not to be missed. And what else have we got? Oh, there's the cars with the what are they, car jacks, car lifts. Now of course it was pointed out to me by Slotcar Hub that at proper racetracks they don't actually have car lifts like that. They have a whole different approach to that sort of thing. But I thought, well, this isn't like a full-on specific racetrack. It's more of a novelty theme park racetrack. So I think the standard mechanic workshop hydraulic car lifts are quite appropriate. They do look good out the back of the pit there, don't you think? I think they do. And of course, when we get the rock band show thing happening here, there'll be lots of people populating this section of the layout, so that'll be really cool. Down this end we got the Mad Max Fury Road Cafe, and I'm an artist. Love that. How good is that? I think it's very lifelike. Looks just like him. Yeah, getting very good. One day that wasn't finger painting. That was more like just. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it worked. So I'll get some little lights in here to light both of these up. That'll be cool. And then, all right, this has got me really, really excited. Well, first of all, I love the way the little stairway fit on there. It's all grunged up, as I've been doing with the Mad Max stuff. Remember in the post-apocalyptic Mad Max and Fury Road worlds, no one's building anything anymore. They're just scavenging. So whatever they can find, there's no rust converter, rust inhibitor or anything like that. Everything's slowly corroding and rusting away. And, little vehicles like this, they're clapped out, they're barely running. So definitely keeping up with that theme. Here's the awesome buzzard slot car that Shotgun Dave did for me. And on one of Wildman's 3D printed billboard signs, I've added custom slot cars there for Dave. So he's made the layout in terms of free advertising. No, it looks fantastic. I'm so pleased with how that turned out. And I made it a double-sided sign. On this side, we've got the three amigos. They've made the layout. How cool is that? Looks really cool, I think. But got this vehicle here. Lots of people here to check out the exhibit. Dave Voke from Brisbane, his war rig, brilliant as ever, looking great. Another Wildman vehicle there. Another one of Wildman's 3D printed billboards. I put that exhibit art there to make sense of that. Here's the MFP Interceptor up on its own ramp. Moved this guy forward. I've got a couple of motorbikes to add in here soon. As you can see in the distance there's our Bartertown sign. So as you come roaring out of the poop chute into this precinct, that Bartertown sign welcomes you to this part of the layout. And I haven't got artwork on this little billboard yet, but I'm thinking what's the best thing to put there. I'll wait till I get the rock band installation happening, because that might have influence on what I put there. It might be something silly like watch where you go, or don't step out onto the track, or some sort of warning. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But overall, coming together superbly. Very, very happy with all that. Very happy with the back of the pits. That was nothing not so long ago. Now it's coming together. And of course, when I get all the new buildings and structures and a new thrill ride installed in here, might be as tall as the Ferris wheel actually. It's going to be quite an Eiffel. No, it's not the Eiffel Tower. That's not a clue. I wasn't being cryptic. Folks, so huge thanks to Digger, huge thanks to Wildman, huge thanks to Dave Falk here in Brisbane, and a huge thanks to Shotgun Dave. Great seeing all these things come together. And look, just look at this. This is what happens. This is a real international effort here. 4 or 5 people working together to end up with this outcome. Think about that. Just goes to show what we can achieve as a community, as a group, when we, share ideas, help each other, inspire each other. It's very positive, isn't it? Yes. I'm just so thrilled with how that's turned out. Really thrilled. Yeah. So, folks, thanks for tuning in this week. I hope you enjoyed that. A very crafty episode, this one. Next week, look at this. My, don't drop it. My decals have arrived for the White Kit project. So I think next week, I'll risk it all and start putting decals on this car. See if we can't get it done. See if we can't get the clear coat done, get all the little headlights and everything installed. See if I can complete it. I'm very keen to get this car going. Very keen. I recently got a hold of these ones. This is the same thing. These are slot cars. It's the Nissan GTR Nismo, I believe, is the model. I got this one as well. These are fantastic slot cars, by the way. Absolutely brilliant. So good. Very smooth on the track, and especially this one, the White Kit. Can't wait to see this zipping around in its finished form.
And now it's time for Wildman's Thought for the Day.
Sorry, no thought of the day. When you have too much content, you must put the trash out.
Thank you, Wildman, for that lovely thought for the day.
Not sure what you're on about there, Wildman. Content trash. Yeah, I don't know. Folks, in about another day, another 24 hours, we are about to be smashed by something called Cyclone Alfred. Now, it's kind of ironic because I just did that Batmobiles cinematic. As we know, Batman's little helper is Alfred. Now we're going to get completely hammered by Alfred. Yeah, well, it's out there about 400 kilometres heading this way, according to all the weather reports, Bureau of Meteorology, satellite radar images and whatnot. We've already had some damage. Things have been blown everywhere. We did have a timber pool screen. It got snapped at the base just from a little pre-gust that came up earlier. I've jumped on it with the hammer and the claw hammer and pulled it all apart, loaded all the timber into the shed. Oh, I've got to tie those doors together tightly. So I've got all the furniture in basically. Well, I've got it stacked here. When this is over, I'll take this opportunity to really whip this yard back into shape, pull out the weeds. I'll sand down this deck and refinish it. It should come up a treat. So there's a silver lining, but folks, it's there is a very strong possibility we won't be doing much at all. So this could be the very last Hughes Garage episode for the foreseeable future. Not too sure what's going to happen. It's Wednesday afternoon here. I'm going to edit this on the end of the video. I'll upload it to YouTube and schedule it for Saturday. So if you're watching this now, it's a mystery as to what's happened, whether we got through it or not. We might even have to evacuate. So we're told there'll be people banging on the door within the next few hours if they feel we need to evacuate the area. So we can kiss the house goodbye. I'm worried about this roof just getting taken off. I'm also worried about my lovely Alexandra palms getting knocked over. And they're heavy as hell. If they go that way, yes, they'll do some damage. If they go anyway, they're going to do some damage. They'll take the fences out for sure. This pergola might not even stand the test. Yeah, I'm a bit worried about that. The whole shed might get picked up and launched somewhere. Hopefully the green pool will be taken away and replaced by lovely, clean, filtered cyclonic seawater. Yeah. Would that be better or not? I don't know. Kind of looks like it already happened, didn't it? Actually, yeah, it looks like it's already happened, but no, this is the calm before the storm. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So, folks, wherever you are, good luck to you. Wish us luck. Fingers crossed. It's hitting land about this time tomorrow, they reckon. Maybe a little bit later. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do the Aussie slot car show live, mainly because we won't have any electricity. The electricity will go out for sure. We won't have a router or any internet or anything. We've got a safe room, but we might have to evacuate. And that means leaving the slot car room behind. All that work could be just sucked up into the atmosphere. I might pick a slot car and take it with me if we do jump in the vehicle and get out of it. Which slot car will I take? Which one? It'll have to be the Shotgun Dave creation, won't it? Yeah, it's a one-off, so probably that one. Folks, wish me luck. Fingers crossed, and hopefully we'll see you again next week on Hughes Garage Slot Car Adventures, and this is certainly going to be an adventure, yes. Oh my.